Hello there and welcome to today's yoga class, Embracing Your Unique Flow, Celebrating Neurodiversity. I'm very excited about today's class. What I'm going to be using throughout this class is I'm going to be using a meditation bolster. Now, if you don't have one, don't panic. What you can use instead, you could get yourself a couple pillows, or if you don't have a couple pillows, you could get yourself a couple blankets and just prop yourself up like so. This is just so we can, in our meditation practice, our hips and our knees are in alignment. So it basically means you don't fatigue quickly, and a lot of people don't sit on the floor on a daily basis. So when you go to sit down or you go to teach someone to go to sit down, a lot of the time what it looks like is this, which is completely normal and not bad at all. It just means that, again, we can use these variations like pillows and stuff to prop ourselves up so our hips are in better alignment and we can sit up nice and straight. Basically, it just means you can stay in the meditation for longer. I'm also going to be using a couple yoga blocks. Now, again, if you don't have yoga blocks, please do not panic. You can use a couple books instead. If you don't have a couple books the same size, you could maybe use a couple pillows as well. Anything you can prop yourself up onto. So you could even use a chair or anything like that. You can be creative with it. Also, I want you to remember during this yoga class, if anything gets overwhelming at any point, if you feel you need to pause the video, you feel you need to take a minute to breathe, to get a drink, then please do that. Remember, this is why this video has been created. This is why this is not in person or over Zoom. It is so that people like us, neurodivergent people, or even if you're not neurodivergent, can find a space where they can take time if they need to pause the video, to go away, to take a breather and to come back again. Okay, remember, this practice isn't about me. It's not about what I'm doing. It's about how you feel and about celebrating your difference. So please take that throughout the class. Also, if you need to stim or move your body at any point, please do. Don't feel you need to stay still at any point during the class. If you need to use stim toys, I love to use a stim toy during my class, especially when trying to listen to someone talk. If you feel you need to fidget, you need to get up, you need to move around, please do that. Do whatever works best for you. So, neurodiversity, what does it mean? Now, the term neurodiversity basically just means the understanding that each individual is born with a unique and different brain, body, and nervous system. So our neurology, each person falls under being neurodiverse. Neurodiversity is about every single human being. Every single human being has a different type of neurology, so their brain functions in a different way. Now, neurodivergent people tend to differ even further from the norm of society in terms of how our brain functions. There's a plane just going overhead. I do live right by an airport, so if at any point you can't hear me, that might be why. But yeah, so neurodiversity is about understanding that every single human being born on this planet has a different neurology. Our brain functions differently. And for a long time, I feel because of ableism in society, we've had this assumption around being different in terms of humans as it's being a bad thing. So I want you to think of, for example, going into a garden centre. And you're walking around a garden centre and you're looking at all the different types of plants and all the different types of flowers, the different types of trees, and all of the different variations in the biodiversity of this garden centre. I want you to imagine you're walking in between the aisles, looking at each row and at each flower that is uniquely different, taking in each of the different types of scents and looking at how beautiful everything is. Now, if you're like me, you can imagine and you can agree that that is a beautiful thing, that the diversity that is within nature is so incredibly beautiful that it makes up what society is and how we experience the world. Now, human beings tend to accept diversity when it comes to nature and animals and plants and flowers. We accept that there are differences within nature. But when it comes to looking at humans, we tend to want to conform and be the exact same way. And for a long time, because of ableism in society, we have had this assumption that you need to be exactly like everyone else, that you have to conform and you can't be different and you can't stand out. When in reality, our diversity, our differences is what makes us incredibly beautiful. It's what makes the world so unique and what makes each human being uniquely different. Can you imagine a world where we were all the same, where every single human being looked the same, acted the same, felt the same, thought the same? Can you imagine how boring society would be and how much we wouldn't adapt and evolve as a society? How everything would just stay the same. I think for a long time we have been so hesitant around accepting any human being that is different from the norm because of this message we put into society that everyone needs to be the same. But in reality, our differences are incredible and they make us so uniquely different. And that includes neurodiversity. The fact that our neurology and the way that we experience the world is different to someone else is incredible. It's amazing. And again, how boring would it be if you thought exactly like the person next to you? So I want you to take this sense of celebrating neurodiversity and diversity as a whole, not only throughout this class, but throughout your life. Because especially for me, I spent so many years hating myself and trying to be exactly like everyone else, trying to conform, trying not to be different. And ultimately, I grew up and ended up not knowing myself. And learning about myself and accepting my differences and accepting my diversity has helped me so much in my life, not only to connect with myself and who I want to be, but also with other people, with people like you, for example, coming on this video. The community around neurodiversity is beautiful and incredible, and it encompasses every single human being. So yeah, just on touching on this, I want to set an intention for today's class. So I want you to take a second to set an intention for yourself for this class. And if you don't know what an intention means, it just means a phrase of words that you'll say, a sentence that you'll say that you'll basically just repeat in your brain and that you'll keep with you throughout this class, and that will help every time you struggle, you could come back to. So if you don't know of an intention, you can't think of one, I want you to surround it around celebrating neurodiversity. So it could be, for example, you could say to yourself, I am going, whatever is going to come up in today's class, whatever I experience, whatever sensations come up, I'm going to accept them as they are. Or you could say, I'm going to celebrate my differences. So I'm going to give you a second to set your intention. I'm sorry if you can hear there's a banging noise in the background, but I really hope that you guys can't hear that. But take the minute to set your attention. I'll give you a second. You can pause the video if you need to. Okay, so now we are going to go into our quick grounded meditation practice. So you can sit on a chair if that's easier. A lot of people prefer to sit up on a chair. Just make sure your spine is nice and straight. You might want to put a cushion underneath your bum. But if, like me, you're on the floor, you can sit up nice and tall up on your cushion or your pillows. You can get your yoga blocks or your books and you can put them underneath your knees like so. You can sit up nice and straight. And also, if at any point, if this meditation practice is too overwhelming, you can just skip this. You can skip it and just head straight to the yoga practice if you think or feel it is going to be too overwhelming for you. Remember, you can take breaks. You can pause this video at any point. I'm really sorry about the banging in the background. I will maybe put in some music, or I might not, but I'll see if I can edit it out anyway. So without further ado, either close your eyes or softly gaze just at the ground if that feels more comfortable. Take a deep inhale in through the nose and fill up the belly nice and big. Hold at the top and then slowly exhale out through the mouth. Again, another nice deep breath in through the nose, filling up the belly. Hold at the top and then exhale slowly out through the mouth. I want you to make sure you can hear your breath, so sigh it out on the exhale. And if you don't know whether you're breathing into your belly or your lungs, you can place one hand on your belly. And on the inhale, you should feel your belly expand into your hand. And on the exhale, you should feel it deflate. So inhale, filling up. Hold at the top. And then exhale slowly out through the mouth. Inhale, filling it up nice and big. And then exhale, sigh it out. Now I want you to scan over any tension in your body. And I just want you to breathe into these areas. And on the exhale, try to release as much tension as you can. Remember, any thoughts that come up, if you struggle, that's okay. It's just about trying. So inhale in. Feel into the tension and then exhale, let it go. Inhale, filling up nice and deep. And exhale, letting go. When you're ready, wiggle your toes and your fingers. You can bat your eyes open. Now I want you to take that breathing throughout this practice. Now I want you to try and sync your breath to the movement. Remember, if you fall out of it, that's okay. If you can't keep up with me, that's okay as well. This practice is about you and about celebrating how you are going to experience this practice, not about me. So inhale, reach your arms nice and high up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now we're just going to do a nice little side stretch. So inhale, right arm comes up to the sky, and you can bring that left hand to your block if you want to, or the floor. Exhale, leaning over to the left. Inhale, coming back out. Exhale, left arm goes up to the sky, leaning over to the right. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale out. Now we're going to do a couple neck rolls. So just rolling your neck round to the right on the inhale. And on the exhale, moving your head round to the left. I'm just doing a little circle. And you can switch the circle the other way. Continue breathing. If you find any points of tension, you can roll over these points, feeling into them. Remember, you're just feeling whatever's right for you. Head back to center. And now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So on the inhale, you're lifting your shoulders up to your ears. And on the exhale, you're pulling them back and bringing them back down again. Keep on doing that. Inhale and exhale. You can speed it up if you want. Follow along with your own breath in your own time. Really feel into the shoulders. Very good. Okay, now so we're now going to be moving the bolster or the cushions away. And just coming into a child's pose on the floor. So if you don't have a yoga mat, that's okay. You can always practice on a soft surface, so a carpet, or you could go outside and do it on the grass. Sometimes when I didn't have a yoga mat before, what I used to do is get a blanket and just fold it in half so that my knees are on it. And then just make sure I'm on a hard ground so I have some grip. So that's a great little option. So coming into child's pose, knees wide. You can have a bolster here if you can't come all the way down to the ground and it's quite hard, that's okay. You can just put a cushion underneath you. Arms out in front. And take a deep breath into the belly, filling up again. Hold it at the top and then exhale out through the mouth. Inhale in, nice and deep into the belly. And exhale out through the mouth. Inhale in. And exhale out. Coming up onto all fours. So we're stacking our shoulders over our wrists and our hips over our knees. Now, if this hurts, if your knees are quite sensitive, what you could do is you could fold up a blanket and put them underneath your knees. If it's a bit much on your wrists, if you struggle with wrist weakness, you can come down onto your forearms instead. That's a great option as well. Sorry, there's many planes flying over at the moment, so I really hope you can hear me. So coming onto all fours, and we're going to do a couple cats and cows. So on the inhale, you're going to arch your back and slowly look up. On the exhale, you're going to round the spine and look down. Remember, we're trying to make this movement nice and slow. So on the inhale, arch your back, look up. On the exhale, round your spine, look down. Feeling into all the sensations in our body. Inhale, arch back, look up. Exhale, round your spine, look down at the ground. Now we're going to be going into a down dog. So what I like to do is I like to budge my legs back slightly. And then we're making sure, so instead of before where we had our cow pose, and cow pose, we had them nice out, arms nice and diagonal. Instead of doing that, or nice and straight even, instead of doing that, we're going to put them at a slight diagonal, so out to the side like that. And step back a little bit and tuck your toes. Again, we're going to do that cow pose where we arch our back and look forward. On the inhale. And then on the exhale, you're going to push your hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Now, once you get there, remember we're pushing the ground away with our arms. So we're not just flopping into the ground. We are actively pushing the ground away with our arms.
You can also have a nice generous bend in your knees. You do not have to have your heels to the ground. Most people will not. Do any movement that feels nice here. You might want to move side to side. If this is very hard for you, again, you can come down onto your forearms if that's easier. Remember, this can be very hard for people who've never tried it before. Maybe even pushing after this class, you could try even just pushing against a wall to build some strength up. Inhale here. And exhale out. Inhale here. And exhale out. You should start to be feeling quite warm, feeling sensations and blood pumping in your body. If you can't feel it, that's okay as well. Again, it's about working with our brains and whatever works best with us. So on the inhale, you're going to look to the front of the mat, bend your knees. And on the exhale, we're going to slowly walk to the front of the mat. Now, if that is really difficult and you're struggling to walk to the front of the mat, you can just come down onto your knees and then step up into a standing position. But step forward into your forward fold if you're with me. And then once you get to the forward fold, again, what you can do is you can come onto your blocks for stability, or if you can't reach ground. Also, we are not having dead straight legs here. If you can do that and you're really nice and low, that's great. But if you can't, it's not a competition. This is about working with what works best with us. And I cannot by any means do a forward fold without a generous bend in my knees. It just feels way better. So you can have a nice generous bend. You can flop your head round to the side. Do any movement that feels nice here. Inhale here. And exhale out. On the inhale, you're either bringing your hands to your blocks or bringing them to your thighs. Inhale, straighten your legs and look forward. Exhale, fold back over again. Now we're going to roll up nice and slowly through the spine. So as we do this, I want you to feel into each vertebrae rolling up at a time. So try to feel into each individual vertebrae as much as you can. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly roll up through the spine. And ending in mountain pose. Now, if you do not know what mountain pose is, it is simply standing with your, again, shrugging our shoulders up and back like we did before and having them out. Now, we're not doing a Beyonce here where we stick our bum out and walking around like that, because you will find that will cause a lot of problems in the future. So you're tucking our pelvis in, shrugging our shoulders up and back, and standing at the front of our mat, imagining we are a warrior taking on the day. So like you're a mountain, literally mountain pose. So inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands come to your heart. And now we're going to bring our knee up. So we're going to be coming into a balance. So as we do this, and plane just going overhead, I'm just going to wait for it. So what you're going to do is you're going to imagine your foot is a rectangle box. And what you're going to do is you're going to push into each individual corner. So each of the 4 corners of that box through your feet. So imagine your left foot is a rectangle box. And you can watch me for a minute. You're just going to push into each 4 corners of the feet, and then as you start to bring your leg up, you're going to push into your heel. So you're going to make sure you're pushing into your heel as well as the 4 corners of your feet. So you're bringing your right knee up, and you can grasp underneath like so. Now, if this is a lot for you and you're already all over the place, that's okay, that's normal. The actual muscles in our leg
They shake from side to side in order to keep us balanced. So it's very, very normal to wobble and to fall over. A lot of, Western yogas will show these perfect balanced things, and they have been practicing for probably 20 plus years. Balance isn't always a, evidence of being an advanced yogi. We all fall over. It's very normal. So if you need to hold on to a wall, please do that, or grab your favorite person nearby and tell them to hold you. So again, going into the four corners of that left foot, inhale, bringing that right knee up and clasping underneath. Again, this might be a lot for you, so you might just want to work on holding onto your hips and just lifting your legs slightly. So whatever works best for you. So lifting it up, inhale here, and on the exhale, you're just putting it back down, but you're not touching the floor. Inhale, bringing it back up again. Exhale, putting it down again. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one, inhale up. Exhale, place that right foot back down. If you feel that is okay, take a minute to shut your eyes and just feel the sensations running along that back calf. So if you don't know what sensations you're meant to be feeling, that's okay. Again, we're just imagining the calf in our brain and then imagining the sensations and the energy and the blood flow running through it. If you can't do that, again, that's okay. Don't feel that you need to perfectly know exactly what you're doing in a yoga practice from the get-go. So, other side, we're placing our weight into the four corners of our right foot. As we press up, we are pushing into that heel. Inhale, a left leg coming up this time. Exhale, back down again. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale back down again. Inhale one more time. Inhale up. And exhale, placing that left foot down. Again, shutting your eyes. You should be able to feel the blood flow. You might want to wiggle your legs out of it. You should be feeling them nice and fired up in the back. If you don't, again, that's okay. Now we're going to be going into a chair pose. So inhale, bringing your arms up to the sky. And as you do that, I want you to act like you're sitting on a chair. And again, we're not doing the Beyonce tilt. We are tucking our pelvis in. So we're doing a little tuck. Imagine you're twerking and it's the tuck bit that we want to be focused on. So we're not keeping our bum out. We are tucking in. Inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale here. And exhale out. You can get lower if you want to. Inhale here. And exhale out. You should be feeling a nice bird. Last one, inhale. And exhale, come back up to standing. Now we're going to be doing tree pose. I'll show you a couple variations of tree pose. I'll show you at the front, so you don't need to do it yet. So just watch me for the minute. So with tree pose, imagine you'll see all the beautiful yogis doing the full expression of the pose. You don't need to do that by any means. If that's really hard for you, that's okay. You can just start by placing your foot on the side of your ankle like that. That's a great one. So we're just opening up our hips and then we're placing the foot on our ankle. So that's a great one to start. You can just start by practicing that. Or you can come a little bit higher. So you could place it on your calf, on the outside of your calf like so. Again, you might wobble all over the place. And remember, we are pushing through the full corners of our feet and up through our heel. You can have a little bend in the knee if that's easier. Some people find it easier to push up into the thigh, so you're making sure your thigh is nice and activated. But whatever works best for you.
or you could go for the full expression. Again, it doesn't make you any better than if you were to do this. It's not a competition by any means, but doing whatever works best for you, finding the variation that works best for you, standing at the front of the mat. We're starting on our left foot, so again, pressing the weight in between all the four corners of our feet, and then coming into whatever variation works best for you. Inhale, bring your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. If you're wobbling, that's okay, keep with it. If you need a wall, that's okay as well. Inhale here. Exhale out. Try to keep your attention on one point in front of you. This is what we call drishti in yoga. Inhale here. And exhale out. Whatever is coming up, remember we're accepting it. If you really are struggling right now, that's okay. Just accept it and work through it. Inhale. And on the exhale, placing that right leg back down again. Again, you can feel through the sensations in your leg. Wiggle it out a bit if that feels nice. And on to the other side. So if you need a break and you need to grab your water, please pause the video and do so. So coming into the other side, putting your weight into all four corners of your right foot. Bringing your left foot into whatever variation of tree pose works best for you. And remember, when we do this, a common thing I see with people is they sink into their hips and they really struggle to stay up because they're sinking. So imagine someone's pushing into the side of your hip and pushing you upwards. This will help you to stay nice and tall. So inhale here, bringing your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale here. Exhale out. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, place that left leg back down again. You can shake out the right leg. See whatever works best for you. Now, inhale, we're going to bring that right knee up again to meet our hand. And on the exhale, step your right leg back into a high lunge. Now, you might want a generous bend in that knee. And we're just squeezing together. So inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale here. Exhale out. Inhale here. And on the exhale, you're opening your arms up to the side, coming into a warrior two. Now, if you don't know how to do a warrior two, keeping that front leg bent like you were in the high lunge, we're making sure our heels from our front foot to our back foot are in an alignment. So they're in a line, they're stuck on that line, okay? So imagine your feet are stuck onto the invisible line. You want to make sure your back foot is slightly at a diagonal. So it's not straight, it's not all the way here, it's at a diagonal, whatever works best for you. If you're really struggling, this feels really tight in the back calf, you might need to pull your leg forward a bit. There's no shame in having a very close stance, warrior two, that's fine. So working with whatever works best for you. And then we're also remembering, imagining you have a chair behind you and you're going to sit on that chair. So you're trying to move your bum back and sit onto the chair, okay? And at the same time, you're squeezing your front foot towards your back foot, creating a lift. So we're not just sinking into our warrior two, we're squeezing and activating all the muscles and keeping ourselves up. Your arms out to the side, look to your front hand, inhale here, and exhale out. Inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to reach your left arm forward and lift it up overhead for a nice little side stretch. Inhale here. And exhale, you should feel all the energy and all the sensations and the blood pumping and the stretching all through here. But if you don't, that's okay. is focus on your breath. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your hands back into that high lunge and stepping your left foot forward. Other side this time, stepping that left leg, sorry, I'm getting my legs crossed up, my left leg back, coming into your high lunge. Inhale here, exhale out. Inhale here, exhale out. Inhale here, and on the exhale, opening up again into our warrior two, finding the alignment, working with whatever's best for you. Remember, again, sitting back onto our chair, bringing our arms out to the sky, out to the side. Inhale here, exhale out. Inhale here, exhale, reach that right arm forward and bring it over for a side stretch. Inhale here, and exhale. Feel that stretch nice and deep. Inhale. And on the exhale, bring your hands back, coming back into that high lunge, then stepping that left foot forward to meet the right. Now we're going to be doing a dancer pose quick. Now with dancer pose, it is quite an advanced pose. I cannot do the full expression of dancer pose, and that is okay. Again, if you need a wall, that's okay. I'll show you a couple variations for dancer pose. So first I'll show you what is sort of the full expression. Now, don't get scared if you look at that and you're like, I cannot do that. That is okay. So what you could try and do instead is just starting by holding the inside of your foot. So you're holding on the right side of that right foot. And you just might want to practice holding. You can put your hand on your hip, like so. I'll show you from the front, like that. And you could just practice going forward and back, and forward and back. And what we're doing, we're just building the balance and the flexibility in our body, making our body develop muscle memory, understanding the biomechanics. So that is one variation. You could try, instead you could take the outside, so the left side of the foot. So instead of being on the out, we're going on the inside. So we're rotating that shoulder like we did with the shoulder rolls and the mountain pose. You're rotating that shoulder and then grabbing the inside of that foot. And then with this, you could practice just slowly coming in and going out, and coming in and going out, and getting bigger and bigger as you go, as far as you can. You could also just practice holding on, if it's easier, with both hands, and then coming forward and backwards. And again, you're just building up the flexibility in your quads and your shoulder blades and your lower back. So finding whatever variation works best for you, we're going to be starting by pressing through that left foot, all four corners of the left foot, bringing your right foot up to meet your right hand in whatever variation works for you, either the outside, inside, or both. Inhale here. Remember, looking at our drishti, our point of focus. Exhale. On the exhale, you're coming out a little bit, not as far as you can go, just a little bit. Inhale, coming back in. Exhale, out again. Inhale, coming back in. And we're imagining we're a wave and we're getting bigger with each wave. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. And it's okay if you fall and you need to come back, that's normal. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out, and try and reach your full, as far as and deep as you can go in the dancer pose. Inhale, coming back in, and then placing that right leg back out again. Woo! If you're feeling the burning sensation, that's okay. If you feel tired, you need a drink, please go ahead and do that. Wiggle out your legs, and we're going onto the other side this time. So if you need a break, pause the video. Coming into the right side this time, so pressing into all the four corners of your right foot. Bringing that left foot up to meet the left hand in whatever variation works best for you. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, go out of bliss. Inhale, come in. Exhale, going out. Inhale, coming in. Exhale, going out. Inhale, coming in. Exhale, going out. Remember imagining you're a wave. If you fall, that's okay, come back. You can always rewind the video. Inhale, coming in. And exhale, reaching out to as far as you can go. And then bringing that left leg back down to the ground. We might want to wiggle out, take a deep breath, have a drink. Take a few deep breaths. We're done with the main asana part of our practice. So we will be resting now. So standing back at the front of your mat. Reaching your arms up to the sky. And the exhale, you're going to fold forward. Go into our forward fold. Inhale here. And on the exhale, place your hands down. If you can. If you can't, come to your blocks. But place your hands down. And then we're stepping our left and our right foot back into our downward facing dog. If that is too much, what you could do is you could come down onto the ground and then just step back. Okay, remember working with whatever works best for us, but finding your downward facing dog when you're ready. Inhale, bring that right foot forward and we're going into a pigeon pose. Now, one thing with pigeon pose, before you go into it, remember, you do not need to have your front leg at a perfect right angle, okay? It can be a diagonal, that is completely okay. Also, what might be easier, what you might find easy is putting, or slightly more comfortable, putting a block or a book underneath that bum. That's a great little option. And also, bring that left foot and pull that left foot back before you go back down into it. This will help create a lot of room as well. And then we're coming down onto our forearms, or you could come on down onto a block or a pillow, whatever works best for you. If this is too much, you can just stay up in a normal pigeon pose, whatever works best for you. Coming down onto the mat and take a deep breath into the belly and exhale out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. So we're now cooling down, relaxing, letting go. You did so well. Well done for putting in so much effort. Inhale and exhale. If you're struggling to stay focused, if you're struggling with any thoughts that are coming up, or any traits that you're experiencing, maybe you're neurodivergent and you're experiencing overstimulation or anything, any traits, that's okay. Just accept them. Try not to repress them. Inhale here and exhale out. Letting go. Inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, just coming back up out of the pose, bringing your right leg back into your downward facing dog. And then we're going to go into the other side. So bring that left leg forward into our pigeon pose, pulling that right foot back. And then you can place a block underneath that leg if that feels easier. Some people like to fold over directly in the center. Other people like to come on a little diagonal. So if that's easier for you, try that. Coming down if you can. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Melting our body into the mat, letting go. Inhale. And exhale. And then slowly coming out of that. Again, stepping back into our downward facing dog. And then just coming down onto your knees and flopping around onto your bum. Any way you need to get there, that's fine. Coming down onto our backs. So you can chuck the blocks away, you won't need them anymore. Laying on your back in any way you want to get there, that's okay. Bringing your knees into your chest. You just start by rolling your knees forward and back like a little baby. It's what we call wind reliever. So if you relieve wind, that is okay. Remember, we're celebrating ourselves. So anything that comes up, anything at all, is okay. Bringing your knees out to the side, and we're going to do a happy baby. So with this, you want your knees out wide like a little baby. And then you can either clasp underneath your thighs, that might be enough. Or you could grab your ankles, or if you're really flexible, I really struggle to do this. You can hold your toes and bring them down. But whatever works best for you. Inhale here. And exhale out. And we're just rolling side to side. Doing anything that feels nice. You can come back to stillness if you want to. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And on the exhale, you can let go of your legs. You can bring your legs down to the mat. And we are now going to go into our Shavasana and a little guided meditation. So if you want to go back into a seated meditation and sit up straight, you can do that. If, like me, you want to stay on the floor, you can either lay out like with your arms out to the side and legs out to the side like you're about to go to sleep, or you could have your knees in. You could put your feet nice and wide and then have your knees touching. And this is a nice variation as well. Anything that works best for you. You can get comfy if you want to pause the video and get a blanket, get a cushion, get anything that's going to make you nice and comfy. You can do that. Maybe burning some incense might be nice. And inhale. I want you to deeply breathe into your belly, filling it up nice and big. Hold it at the top. And then exhale a sigh out through the mouth. Letting our body melt into the mat. Inhale in. And exhale, let go. Now remember, if this gets overwhelming, you can always stop the video here. But I'm going to go and do a little body scan with you. So starting at the top of your head, you're going to inhale into the crown of your head, feeling any sensation. So if you struggle to feel and understand what to feel, that is normal. That's okay. There is not a guide into understanding your unique feelings inside your body. That is for you to figure out. But it's okay if you can't. And some people struggle with understanding the sensations in their body, and that's completely normal. So remember, you're just trying. So inhale into the crown of your head. Feel into any sensations. And on the exhale, I want you to try and release some tension from it. Moving on to your forehead, inhale into it. And exhale, let go of any tension. Your eyes and your eyebrows, inhale. And exhale, let it go. Moving on to your cheeks and your jaw. Letting it go. Moving on to your chin and your tongue. Your throat and your neck. Your shoulder blades and your shoulders. All the way down your arms, your bicep, your forearms, your wrists. Releasing all the tension in your hands, feeling into the sensations. Into your chest. Into your upper back, your low back, your middle back. Breathing into your abdomen and your belly, releasing any tension. Breathing into your bum and your pelvis and your crotch. Breathing into your legs now, your thighs, your knees, your lower legs, your calves, especially your calves. You've done a lot of work on your calves. Try and release the tension. Inhale and exhale out. Your ankles, your toes, letting it go. Now breathing into any tension left, any spots in your body. Scan over your body and find any spots of tension. What this will feel like is spots of tightness. So anywhere, for example, if you were to do a gym workout and you get a sore muscle, is there any spots that feel that soreness in? Breathe into them and let them go. And just letting this sense of relaxation creep in, the sense of quietness and stillness. And remember, stillness looks different for every single person. So if stillness for you is still movement, then that's okay. If you still need to fidget or move your body in any way, that's normal. And you need to celebrate yourself. Inhale. And exhale, let it go. Now, if you want to stay in this relaxed state and you want to carry on doing some deep breathing, laying on the floor, you can go and pause the video and then come back into your Shavasana. But if, like me, you need to get on with your day, take a deep breath, the biggest breath you've taken all day long, into your belly, nice and big. And exhale, nice and loud, sigh it out. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. Slowly bat open your eyes if you had them shut. Got to say you can gaze in a Shavasana, you don't need to shut your eyes. Then rolling onto your side and coming back up into a seated position. Well done for attempting this, for trying this. If you're someone who's new to yoga, well done for trying something new. It's very overwhelming to step into the world of yoga,
especially when there's so much information, especially for those who are neurodivergent. But remember, it's not about competing. It's not about conforming. Life, just like a yoga practice, is about celebrating ourselves. It's about celebrating our differences. And in doing so, we can lift up and celebrate other people's differences, not only in yoga, but throughout our life. So please take that sense of self-acceptance and love throughout your day, and hopefully throughout your life. Inhale, reaching your arms up to the sky. Bringing your hands and your thumbs to your brow center. And then what I like to do is bow over and take this time to not only thank yourself for being here, but take this time to thank all the people that passed down this knowledge of yoga, this practice. And just say a deep thank you. Thank you. Bye. See you later. Remember to drink water.